Hey everyone. Please support what I do to help keep Greyhawk alive by subscribing to the channel. Also, please consider becoming a channel member to get early access to videos, exclusive live chats, quarterly adventure modules, and more. Thanks, and enjoy the show. I've always found the Horn Society to be one of the most interesting and ultimately wasted uh, groups in Greyhawk, and I want to talk about it today on Greyhawk Grognarn. When the original folio came out, the Horn Society stands out as one of the most intriguing of the villainous realms that's out there. It's run by their dread presences, the Hierarchs, and let me read you some of the entry from my well-worn coverless copy of the guide. Um, the dread and awful presences, the Hierarchs, true names unknown. The capital is Molag. Population is 45,000, give or take. Lots of humanoids, including hobgoblins, especially, which tells you something. It's lawful evil. Originally a stronghold of the more organized of the humanoid tribes, the area. And when they say the area, they're talking about right here. Yep, right there on the map. Um, it came under the rule of a group of evil humans some decades ago. It is speculated that these wicked people were disaffected bandits, or yada, yada, yada. Um, this association combines the masses of humanoid troops with the organization and powers of humans. Deviltry is the religion of the society, and its leading hierarch is purported to be an evil high priest of 18th level. Other leaders are reported as a magic user above the 12th level, several powerful clerics, master thief of 13th level, and a trio of fighter lords, so they're 10th or 11th or whatever. It is known that many troops from the bandits from the east frequent the walled town of Molag, and the Horn Society is on favorable terms with Ayuz. That doesn't last. In the Gord the Rogue books, we get a little insight into Ayuz and his feeling on the Horn Society, and he's very much not in favor of them. And the reasoning is Ayuz used to control both Ayuz's lands and the Horn Society. And then when Ayuz was imprisoned beneath Castle Greyhawk by Zagyg, the Archmage, the Horn Society kind of rose up as one of the figure as one of the groups. In the ensuing power vacuum, they rose up and took half of what he saw as his realm. So once he's released and all this, he's back to his seat of power. One of the lines that really stands out is, "I want my city back," and he's talking about Molag. So that gives you some idea that they might think that Ayuz is on good terms with them, but he doesn't think so. He resents greatly the fact that they took his realm, half of his realm. We do get a little more detail about them in Dragon 56, where we get a lot of details, nice and juicy details that I'm actually going to be wargaming out at a con at some point in the future on a battle between the Horn Society and the Rovers of the Barrens. So these guys up here. And the action takes place right around the tip of the forest here, where they're allied with centaurs, and there's lots of details about the infantry moves here, and the cavalry is drawn away, and so on and so forth. It ends up being a strategic draw. The Horn Society wins the battle, but they take enormous losses of their own cavalry, and the rovers are established in the forest because they're allied with the centaurs. So we have this kind of little spike of detail, which is really nice. In the Greyhawk Wars box set, we learn what happens to them. Ayuz basically cuts the head off the Hierarchs in one fell swoop and replaces the human Hierarchs with demons, basically, which works out because they were pretending to be demons as it was, sort of, kind of, and so when they were replaced with actual demons, and we get little of this backstory in Ayuz the Evil and City of Skulls. So when they were replaced with real demons, nobody could really tell the difference. But that also brings us to the question of religion in the Horn Society, because we're plainly told in the guide that Deviltry, so Asmodeus and the Nine Hells and so forth, is the religion of the Hierarchs. But in that Gord the Rogue book, I believe it's in Artifact of Evil, there's an encounter between him and one of the armies of the Hierarchs, and the Hierarchs summon Nerull the Reaper, the god of death in Greyhawk. He's neutral evil. So Gygax himself seems to have made this contradiction because he wrote the guide and he wrote the book. So there's been a long-standing question as to what's going on there. And the way it seems to have been resolved in I Use the Evil, the source book, is that some of the hierarchs uh, worshipped Nerull, and some of them worshipped uh, uh, Asmodeus and the other archdevils. So that was kind of the dividing line there. I suppose that's okay. I kind of liked the idea that there was a cult of devils out there. We actually get a little bit of that later on in a very obscure novel um, called The Eyes Have It, where the guy's trying to solve a crime, and all clues point towards a member of the cult of Asmodeus because uh, somebody's got a diamond, a ruby tattoo, and that's like the sign of the cult of Asmodeus. So I liked the idea that there was this cult of devils out there. But they kind of drop that because you never really hear much about that later on in most of the published work, especially in the canonical stuff. Um, so anyway, there's that kind of disparity there. And once Ayuz destroys the Horn Society and sets himself up, he pretends that the hierarchs are still in charge because he's running the show behind the scenes. But I guess the to maintain continuity and to prevent populace from kind of rising up, he maintains the facade that the hierarchs are still in charge. But at some point, eventually, he grows weary of this. So in the late 580s, at some point, he just takes over. He just announces that he's in charge, and the hierarchs bow to him, I guess, and that's it. So the Horned Lands, as they're now called, become officially part of of Ayuz's empire. Um, in terms of the hierarchs themselves, only two of them survive. Where is it here? Nesmagin, who is a 12th level cleric, he ends up in the Felreev forest, which is that big forest here, leading a group of bandits. Um, and there's also Andrade Miranus or something like that. She ends up owning a tavern in Greyhawk and hiding herself as the what is it, the Night Dame. We also learned there's Juliana Mentitus, who is a cleric, but not one of the hierarchs apparently. So just a cleric in their service. Also survived and is kind of running around. But Ayuz knows that at least one hierarch survived and can't find them. I'm assuming because of magical reasons. They're able to shield themselves or whatever. Um, but we kind of lose the thread after that. There's a couple of them managed to survive because they weren't in Molag when the rest of the hierarchs were destroyed, and they've been in hiding ever since, changing their names and living very different lives. And this leads me to what I feel is the great waste of the Horn Society, because the Horn Society wasn't just um, a realm; it was an organization. And as an organization, I love the idea that there's this secret society in Greyhawk, in the Flness, trying to run things, kind of like a poor man's Scarlet Brotherhood. That they would try to infiltrate, say, the city of Greyhawk, and they would get and Hierarch actually got killed by the mayor trying to do that once, and so they have these plots and schemes going on, and um, it would have been really cool for them to be kind of like a rival Scarlet Brotherhood. But because um, they took that direction, Carl Sargent destroyed it as part of the Greyhawk Wars, reconfiguration of campaign setting. We kind of lose that. It would have been really cool. You could have achieved the same effect if more of the hierarchs had survived, and if they had all gone into hiding but maintained their connections to each other so that they actually do become a true secret society. um, uh, spread throughout the Flonesse. If you had like 10 of them, all directing things in their own respective realms and so forth, and they could act in concert and stuff. So I've actually done that a little bit myself in my campaigns, but I haven't really taken it to making them the big threat. In the way that Scarlet Brotherhood could be, and so forth. One of their big things, obviously, they would have an enormous grudge against Ayuz, and they'd want to take the Horned Lands and maybe even ally themselves with Zagig in order to recapture him. There's all kinds of things you could do with it. Helping Furiondi fight their Great Northern Crusade, behind the scenes so that they don't know what's going on. There's a lot of stuff you could do with that, and you could do that. You could just say more Hierarchs survive, and they've been kind of existing sub rosa, maintaining contacts with each other, and then now maybe call it 601 common year. Now they're ready to make themselves known again. That could be the start of a really great campaign. The resurgent the hierarchs are here to get revenge against Ayuz, and so evil's fighting evil, but they're bringing in all the good things around them, as part of collateral damage. So there's all kinds of stuff you could do with that. So, just an idea. So anyway, that's what I got on the Hierarchs and the Horn Society. Hope you've enjoyed this one. Let me know what you've done with them in your campaigns in the comments. I would love to hear. What do you think of my idea to have them persist beyond the just the two that managed to survive the destruction in Molag? So anyway, hope you like this one. Let me know what you think of the comments, and I will talk to you later. Stay safe from Pinkerton.
Thanks for watching today's video. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Below you'll find links to my Patreon, which helps make these videos possible. You'll also find the web store where you can buy my books, and my blog where you'll find all sorts of free downloads and other articles. Thanks, and have a great day.